Thanks for joining us and welcome to this week's edition of The Hill with April Ryan. We have some major topics to discuss, so let's get started. Let's start with the debt ceiling. Here's how we got there. Every so often, Congress must vote to raise or suspend the ceiling so it can borrow money to pay its bills. This includes things like paying federal employees, the military, Social Security, and Medicare. And in this latest deal, welfare was a big sticking point between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans wanted work requirements and substantial reductions for people aged 50 to 55. The work requirements will be phased in over several years. However, Democrats insisted on a time-limited expansion of SNAP for veterans, the homeless, and young people who were part of the foster care system. Now, according to sources close to the negotiations, it is expected that more people will be on SNAP than before the negotiations once the deal is done. But historically, the Republican request to add work requirements isn't new. Republicans made similar welfare requirements during the Bill Clinton era. This year, the Freedom Caucus forced Kevin McCarthy to pledge to make the requirement a priority before backing his efforts to become Speaker of the House. This week, I spoke with former New York Congressman Ed Towns, who is not happy with the way this is all playing out.
I just feel that this is not the place to try and do it. You know, if you're going to work with the budget, you do it in the budgetary process. I mean, this is a situation where we've spent the money, time to pay the bill, and now we must do so. So I don't understand the problem around this. So for people that are in the Congress, they understand that if you spend the money, you got to pay the bill. And this is really what this is all about, is paying the bill. And if we don't learn, you know, from past experiences about things that we tried and didn't work, and then to come back years later and then try it again. I mean, how many times do we have to try this before we realize that this is not helpful to the people that we want to assist?
Another thing that's making political headlines is our history, Black history to be exact, and the many things the government has done to aid Black America is subject to end up on the chopping block. I spoke with Frederica Newton, the widow of Black Panther founder Huey P. Newton, on this exact subject.
I'd like to say that the Black Panther Party, the survival programs that we used to organize people were needed as much today as they were in 1966. We created survival programs, not just to serve the community, but to organize the community so that people knew what it was that they were up against and what could be done about it. So these were used as organizing tools, not just social service tools. And I think that people can learn from the mistakes as well as the victories that we did. That I'm very hopeful that young people today will continue to stand on these principles and do the work that needs to be done.
And I can't leave you this week without recapping my conversation with the forever First Lady, former First Lady Michelle Obama. She, of course, still has her ear on the ground with all that's happening on Capitol Hill. And despite moving from the White House, Mrs. Obama's messaging on integrity holds true now more than ever before.
Now, of course, the folks who go low will appear to come out on top from time to time. But if we lead with goodwill, if we keep our eyes set on the horizon, if we stay true to our values, we'll not only feel better about who we are as individuals, we'll help build the world we hope to see. See, that's why I'll always stand by going high.
Well, I told you this episode was big. And that will do it, though, for this edition of The Hill with April Ryan. Stay tuned next week for more news and stories that pertain to us and about us. Until then, peace.